Hello and welcome to Kinnegad, Coralstown, Kinnegad in Westmeath. Well, it's on the border of a few counties, but it is Westmeath, and it's a neutral venue for this game. It's the TG4 All-Ireland Intermediate Football Championship Relegation Playoff. That team is Louth out in the middle there, having a huddle before this game starts in a few minutes' time, and they are up against Roscommon. And we've already had one game here today, and that was Offaly beating Longford. So Offaly have retained their intermediate status. Which of these two teams will be retaining theirs and which will be going down to junior? Which will be making the drop? Yes, it's a battle to stay alive today between these two teams. Conditions have been absolutely perfect the last few hours. Beautiful sunshine, pitch is perfect. Bit of a wind, sort of blustery. It's coming across into our faces, into the camera at the minute, but it's sort of died down at the minute, and the sun is gone as well. But we're hoping the rain stays off. So overall, you can't ask for more. Blustery, but lovely pitch, good conditions, no excuses at all. And it is, well, it's hard to figure out actually who the favourites are in the team. So let's go to the teams Louth and Roscommon and look at them while we discuss that. So let's go to, is it Louth we're going to have first? It is indeed Louth first, and we haven't heard of any changes just yet, but there could be, of course. The captain is Anya Breen in the middle of the field. They've Lauren Boyle back in the forwards. We saw a few weeks ago her coming on as a sub, and she was excellent. So she gets a starting place there, and otherwise it's pretty much as we've seen them over the last while. But the last day against Kildare, they only scored 3 points, so they'll need to do a lot better today. They are, of course, without Shannon McLaughlin. She's a big loss. She got injured in that game against Leitrim that we were at, and after only a couple of minutes, a huge loss for them. Former captain, of course. As for Roscommon, and as I go to them, as I say, we don't know who are the favourites today. It's really, really hard to tell. Some people say Louth, some people say Roscommon. They've both got excellent sets of forwards and they've both got lots of potential, but who will turn up on the day? For Roscommon, looking at that team, well, you've Aisling Hanley at number 13, one of their fine young players, and All-Ireland Schools winning captain, of course, and you've Niamh Feeney at number 7, who moved into a sort of sweeper role the last day when they played, was it Monaghan? I think I was watching on one of the live streams. Laura Fleming captains the team from number 11. Now we pause for the anthem. I believe Roscommon have not been junior since about 2001. Yet they have had such a poor year this year, relegated to Division 3, and in Division 2 they lost 6 and drew just 1 game, so no wins. They won 1 game in Connacht, lost after that, I think, and then in the Championship, of course, they've lost to Monaghan by 16 points to 10, and they lost to Wexford by just a point, so they have been pretty close there and thereabouts, but confidence must be low. What are we going to see from them today? Of course, they've the likes of young Abby Curran in the subs, and Lisa O'Rourke, of course, the boxer, in the subs too. Well, I wonder, will they get close to starting or will they be brought on? I'm sure they will need everyone today to put in a massive effort to try and retain that precious status that they have had for 22 years. As for Louth, well, they won the junior championship in 2019. And obviously they don't want to just go right back down again, but one is going to go down today. Louth, of course, had a great start in the league, and indeed they beat Kildare, the only team I think this year to have beaten Kildare. But as I said, also they have lost their centre half back Shannon McLaughlin, a key player for them. How will they cope with that today. The sun has now just come out, which means that it's a bit trickier for us because I can't see my monitor now, but I can see the game. That's the important thing, and our camera is nicely situated, unusually on the far side here at Carlstown. Kinnegad gives us a different view of proceedings. The referee is Kevin Phelan, who represents the St Bridget's LGFA club and Barrow House GAA as well, and he will get us underway. The sun's shining at the start of this game. It's a later start, a 4 o'clock throw in, and Kevin Phelan indeed throws it in, and who's going to get it first? Well, both teams have had a battle for that, and that is Halligan, Aoife Halligan number 9 and Anya Breen the captain. Between them they get it into the forwards there, and going for it first is Laura Collins, but doesn't stick. There's a real intensity about this game that you can sense right away at the start of this game. That shows how much is at stake, and there's a goal chance right at the end, and Kate Flood does not miss in the first 25 seconds of the game. Well, if you want someone at the end of it, you want Kate Flood. She's been around a long time for Louth. She's 31 next month, and she is the girl who has got them off to a perfect start once again. What a start for Louth. Wow. Goal after 25 seconds, and she just found herself in loads of room. Nobody near her at all, and that will have rocked Roscommon back. They were caught sleeping there, Louth, or Roscommon rather. Now there's 25 is out in the middle for them. I am going to try and keep up with the changes. There's obviously been quite a few. I see 17 and 18 out there as well for both teams, so I'll catch up with those, but I'm trying to also catch my breath here because it's an electric start to this TG4 All-Ireland Intermediate Championship game, and you really sense that this is going to be an almighty battle, and that's a tough one for the goalkeeper, but Lam Fagan does well under pressure, takes a knock there but just gets it out of the way. Moves the ball away from the danger area. That's the important thing. And indeed, number 25 there, you see, battling is Ruth Cox for Roscommon. So she's in from the start, as is Ella Thompson, number 17. So that's 2 changes of spotted already for Roscommon. 21 is out there. That's Aisling Shanaher. That's 3. There's a real championship feel about this game, and I know it is championship, but it's a relegation battle, and you might think, well, these two teams, they've not won much between them, have hardly won a game between them over the last 3 or 4 months, but this means a lot. This is keeping your intermediate status, and these two teams are going to give it everything they can to stay up. It's their last game of the year, so they may as well. This is where it ends today, win or lose for both of these teams. 17 is Ella Thompson. That's the girl I mentioned who hasn't been in from the start. And for Louth, I think I saw 18 there, which would be Lucy White is in for them. Working out who didn't start is another story. But this is a free now, which Aisling Hanley will take from Kilbride with the trademark scrum cap. Good angle for her, but quite a distance out. She needs to give this a lot. She's hit it well. Oh, it's off the crossbar. So close. And could there be a goal at the end of it? Oh, and there is a goal at the end of it. And I think it's Laura Fleming, the captain, who capitalised. It's 1 goal to 1 goal. What a start to this game. Absolutely electric start. Real championship, do or die battle here. And that shows. And Hanley measured it perfectly. And they were fortunate enough to get it, but they will take it. Roscommon looking for another one, and Fleming looking for another one, and it is the captain, and she is fouled. Referee tried to give her advantage, and that was rather cynical of the Louth defence there to stop that, but they had to stop her somehow by hook or by crook, and it was by crook. 1 goal each, but that could have been a second goal. I'm pretty sure it was Fleming who got the first one, and she very nearly got through for a second. And that's the area, of course, where Louth would usually have Shannon McLaughlin in there trying to stop players going through the middle. That would have been her job, but that injury she got against Leitrim means that they are without the pivot there at the centre of the defence. Now the goalkeeper is Rebecca Lamb Fagan. Great start for them, but now they've been pegged right back with a goal for Roscommon. Phelan gives that free to Roscommon, and off they go immediately with Aoife Gavin facing up to Kiva Boyle. This is Aisling Feely trying to get inside, well marshalled by Rachel Berth. And that's a kick out. That's better defending from Louth. So they got a great start and only kept it for a couple of minutes. So yes, 18 is out there. Lucy White for Louth. Good dig on the kick out from Lam Fagan as well, and it bounces beautifully right through to Niamh Rice from Cooley Kickens, and she immediately puts it into the forwards. And I did say they've good forwards. Flood has already shown that yet again. They want to get the ball up into those forwards as quickly as possible, but it's a free out. Last day we saw them against Leitrim. Louth missed so many chances. They created so much but just couldn't hit the target. So sun very bright overhead. I don't think it's in particular in anybody's favour. Maybe in the eyes of the Louth or the Roscommon goalkeeper Helena Cummins, if Louth can get up there a bit more often. Might be tricky for her, but it's coming in and out. This is Aoife Gavin from St Dominic's, going right through the middle, as I was saying. They're missing Shannon McLaughlin in there, and that was a little bit easy, and that really should have been over the bar, but she's put it to the right, and she's put it wide. It remains Roscommon 1-1, Louth 1 goal. Kick out goes to that far side from us again, and this time finds Mia Duffy, number 10 for Louth. Halligan now. Oh, and she was looking to pop the ball inside, I think, to Lauren Boyle, but it was easily intercepted. It's mainly Roscommon on the ball in the first 6 minutes or so of this game. Most of the play going from left to right. The wind just picking up, coming into my face. Not really in support. Well, actually, maybe it's a bit more support of Roscommon, but it seems to be going across the pitch, and that's going to be always the referee giving it. Maybe he's going to hop it, is he? No, he's giving it to Roscommon. And it's their 21, Aisling Shanaher. Looks to take it, and there's a good run in behind. And it is Roisin Wynn from the Boyle club. That club is very well represented. This is Laura Fleming looking for another score and gets another score. And that's a little bit concerning for Louth. They get free really easily from the free. Caught Louth sleeping a little bit, got in behind. And the threat is there, and it's 1-2 for Roscommon, and it could have been more. Lam Fagan tries this side again. Good power in the kick, but it's going to go right over the line, and wisely let go over that line by Ella Thompson. Roscommon starting better than Louth, yet Louth had that great goal in the first 30 seconds. Fleming seeing a lot of the ball, being followed by Emer Murray. Good lively play by her, and composed as well, and good movement by Roscommon. They don't look like a team who have played and lost a lot of games this year, and that's Hanley with a great effort, and that's just inside the post as well, but it was more the way that they fashioned that score. It really doesn't look like a team who are low in confidence. I did think they'd be low in confidence, but they are going pretty well here in this game. They are really, really up for this. In the championship so far, the All-Ireland Championship, they lost to Wexford only by a point, and they lost to Roscommon lost to Monaghan 16 points to 10. Before that, they did have a win, their only win of the year in the Connacht Championship in the league. They lost 6 and drew 1. But they have started here like a confident team who are going well. More like them. They really shouldn't be down at this relegation stage. And maybe the team talk before was, girls, many have gone before you, and they have kept Roscommon out of junior for 22 years. Don't be the girls, you bring them down. Whatever the motivation, it's working. Despite that early goal, they now lead 1-3 to 1 goal, and as I say, it could have been more. Now this is an interesting kick-out strategy. All the players lined up in the middle in a line. I've seen quite a few teams do that, and then they all make sprints to the side. It worked on that occasion for Louth. This is their fullback, Ailish Hand. And now Rice, Niamh Rice. I think I mistook her for Lauren Boyle earlier. This is Laura Collins. Oh, brilliant defending. That is Saoirse Wynn from the Boyle club that I mentioned, getting out in front. And, you know, apart from that first goal in the first 30 seconds, the Roscommon defence has been on top. And that Wynn picking up, I think, makes it easier for them, because the ball up into the forwards is not as easy to hit. The Wynn picks up and gets very strong and then stops. So Louth unable to really build at all, and Roscommon's defence on top. Their forwards aren't doing too badly either. Judy McDermott is number 5 for Roscommon, and on her left foot, that's not going to go. Keeper will just leave that, and you see how high that ball bounced. That'll be a concern for the keeper. The ground really firm here, and if that had been in target, she might have been panicking there. So a fascinating start to this game. Roscommon's manager, Ollie Lennon. Louth's manager, Kit Henry, down to my right. He looks the more concerned. Sun has gone in behind a big cloud. So it's gone dull here. Big kick out up the middle, and well reached by Ruth Cox there for Roscommon, using her height around the middle of the field just to bat that one down. And Fleming, she's definitely the shooter. Where's that one going? That could go in the net, and it didn't. Aisling Hanley had a chance as well. 2 bites at it there, Roscommon. They really could be much further ahead, but one off the bar and one saved by the goalkeeper. These are nervy times for Louth. Now Niamh Rice, she always looks to hit it first time because she knows that she has got great forwards up there, but it needs to be more accurate than that. That's easy for Ellen Irwin, the fullback for Roscommon, and it's just coming right back at Louth. Rice tries to get there but fouls Cox.
Okay, Rachel, sit. Watch it coming in, Rachel. Back a bit more, Rachel. Back a bit more. Rachel, back a bit more.
Looking for Fleming yet again. She gets it yet again. She is so dangerous and so lively today. She's been captain now for a good number of years. Real leader in this team, so determined, but puts that just to the left and puts it wide, and she's disappointed with herself, but she has been the main chief scorer in this game so far. Just looking at the pair-ups around the field, and Fleming being followed everywhere by Emer Murray, the number 2 for Louth. 5, Shoda Matthews for Louth is on Roisin Wynn, the number 12 for Roscommon. This is Maya Duffy, number 10. She gives it to Aoife Russell, 12. This is maybe better from Louth. They aren't just pumping it into the forwards aimlessly. This is Halligan now. This is Rice, and she has been the playmaker. She has just put it in a few times, but now she's running in with it. She's carrying it herself, and they can't catch her. That's brilliant work from her. And she gives it to Lucy White. Oh, what a goal. Well, they only score goals on Louth. That's 2 they've scored already, and they've both been crackers of goals. What a match we are having in this relegation playoff in the TG4 Intermediate Championship. What a game. 2 goals to 1-3. Judy McDermott for Roscommon, who were on top there the last 7 or 8 minutes, and they've been rocked right back on their heels. Rachel Berth now for Louth, gives it to Boyle. That'll have settled Louth down a little bit. Anya Breen, the captain. Different tactic there, wasn't it, by Niamh Rice to just go through the middle rather than pump it in. Definitely worked when they ran at them. This is Mia Duffy to Laura Collins. Collins named in the team of the league team this year. They did have a good league, or certainly a good start to the league. They won about 4 games. I think they beat Sligo, they beat Offaly, they beat Longford, and of course they beat Louth by a point, or beat Kildare by a point, the only team to beat Kildare all year. And Louth now have Roscommon pinned in. So just the 2 scores so far, but both have been brilliant goals. This is Halligan. Halligan leaves it off to Collins. They're looking to take the lead now. Is that going to go over? That's a brilliant point. Their first point of the game. It's taken 13 minutes, but they have the 2 goals, and now they have the lead. Can she keep that in? She can't. Anya Breen, the captain of Louth, comes over to take this sideline ball.
Head up. Now we're looking.
Not many options for her. She's going to have to go back to go forward. She does that. She gives it to Rachel Berth. Murray to Halligan, the link player. And off she goes. Breen has it again. Much better from Louth the last 3 or 4 minutes. The goal has obviously helped settle them a little bit, but they've just got their hands on the ball an awful lot more, although that's a loose one into the middle, and it's intercepted by Ella Thompson for Roscommon. This is the danger for Louth. Roscommon looks so dangerous when they're going through the middle, and this is Aisling Feely, and she's got loads of support, and of course Fleming is there. Now she's been forced to go back out, and she adapts and puts it over the bar. Lovely little spin, lovely point, but Roscommon looking dangerous. Even though it's Louth have got 2 goals, it's Roscommon who looked like they could have had 2 or 3 going through the middle. That threat, that direct threat is there. Level scores again after nearly 15 minutes. The first quarter has flown by. 3 goals and loads of incident. It's been really, really eventful. Aoife Halligan from Roach Emmets to Rice. Now this is where the danger usually starts, and she gives a quick ball to Shota Matthews. Aoife Russell involved. Rice again, of course. The playmaker, whether she hits it long or runs in with it. Matthews just steadying the ship down a little bit. 18 is Lucy White. That's a great ball into the full forward line and a lovely turn. Lauren Boyle, she's got a great left foot. Oh, it nearly went all the way through. You were waiting for that to hit the net or go off the post, but it just went all the way across. But every time they go forward, which isn't that often, it has to be said, they seem to be getting a score in the last 5 or 6 minutes. Before that, the Roscommon defence was out in front, but Louth just changed and were a little bit more accurate with their ball in. Talking of ball in, there's a ball to Hanley. Now the ball might win there. Can she keep it in? She does. She gets there. Keeps it in under serious pressure. Did really well there, Hanley, to feed it back out. And has that one gone over? And I think it's gone for a 45, has it? Yeah, the referee has said it's a 45. It's really end-to-end shoot on sight. Very attacking football, and defensive strategies are there, but they're not really as robust as you might see at senior level. So it makes for a very open game. That shot, by the way, from Aoife Gavin. I mentioned about Niamh Feeney playing as a sweeper in the last game. I really don't see sweepers in this game, which is great to see from an entertainment point of view. That one's wide though. Roscommon, I think on balance after 16 and a half minutes, you would say have most of the possession. If you had one of those statistics things to pop up on the screen, it would say Roscommon probably 60% to 40%, but it's not showing on the scoreboard. 2-1 to 1-4, 3 scores to 5 scores. We're level. Breen carries it forward for Laura Collins to take over. I didn't mention both teams they've got great sets of forwards, and they've been proving that so far. Makes you wonder why these teams are actually in this situation at all. Win. This is good building from the back. Fabulous play coming out of defence by Niamh Feeney. Looking for Hanley as well, and Hanley does brilliantly, because that was a tough ball. It was coming at her really fast at a difficult height, and she managed to win it, and she's been under serious pressure from Ailish Hand. Fleming gives it to Feeney. To Feely. Feeney to Feely. She's going for her own score, is she? No, she carries it on and crashes into Ailish Hand. Was trying to keep possession and work her way through, and that's a free out for Louth.
Good girl, down a bit.
And she's holding her shoulder, so there'll be a hold up for a minute or two. Reminds me of the Shannon McLaughlin injury a few weeks ago at Cooley Kickham's in the Leitrim game. A couple of minutes in, and she got a bang on the shoulder and was sat beside us in the dugout with ice on her shoulder for the entire game. And sadly for Louth, she has not reappeared, so she won't play for them again until next year. Kate Henry, the manager, saying that's it, Louth, same again, keep it going. Shout out, by the way, for Jenny Higgins, the Roscommon legend, who is out in Australia and is watching the live stream at 1 a.m. Well, I suppose it's about 1:30 now in Sydney, Australia. Hi, Jenny. And I'm sure you'll be impressed by the way Roscommon have played so far, but a little bit worried about the way they're conceding goals. Tense is the word here in Kinnegad, and tense is the word for Jenny watching in Sydney, Australia, on the other side of the world, for Roscommon supporters everywhere. That one's gone all the way through to Feeney. And she is sweeping at the back there now, it seems. She was the loose player there who picked that up. Kiva Gregg, or Quiva Gregg as she's probably called in that part of the world, from Boyle. I've mentioned that club a few times. Roisin Wynne, Aisling Feely, Searsa Wynne, all from that club. 2-1 to 1-4. And it's Roscommon again doing most of the pressing. And they do have 5 scores to 3. Craig again. Leash just sitting in. This is Thompson. She's been chased, but manages to get the pass away. That's a good ball inside. Can they get into a scoring position? Well, Hanley thinks about only scoring and just drops it into the keeper's arms. She's one of the shooters, and that was her job, and she tried her very best, but just didn't quite give it enough. And the goalkeeper, Rebecca Lamb-Fagan, one of the best young goalkeepers in the country, was very confident there and just clutched that out of the sky. And now it's Niamh Rice at the other end, trying to create something for her team. And Louth really have been hitting Roscommon with sucker punches, but not on that occasion. It was the Roscommon full back line there who prevailed. This is Rachel Fitzmaurice, number 6, and this is Aoife Gavin now for Roscommon, and she goes round Matthews rather easily, but has been forced back out because Louth have set up there with a couple of sweepers dropped in there. Rachel Berth is not marking anyone. They've another player in there as well, so they're very wary of that goal threat, and they're just keeping Roscommon at arm's length. 20 minutes gone then. And you can contact me if you wish. If you need to send me a message, I'm on Twitter at Jerome Quinn, and I'm on Instagram at Jerome Quinn1. So that's where you can contact me directly if you feel the need. Fleming shrugs the shoulders and just breathes. She's sort of got her back to goal. She's maybe angled onto it. Turns on it now and kicks her team into the lead. 1-5 to 2-1. Roscommon sneak back into the lead. They'll be a little bit disappointed, I think, though, because they have had most of the play. But those 2 goals have really rocked them back. But Louth haven't had much ball. Now, that's one of those ones where the number 12 came over to the sideline. That was Aoife Russell. Sneaked back on and nobody saw her, but she got it. And Louth are on the attack as a result. And it's Lucy White again. Back in to Emer Murray. Big kick at. That's a bit ambitious, but I think it's going to work, you know, because it goes all the way to Duffy. No, it's not, because Craig gets there and gets it back for Roscommon. Fleming, the centre of the attack, gives it to Gavin. Looking up ahead. Who's up ahead? Well, Hanley is there, of course, but it's over her head, a bit overhit. And instead, it's Feely going to look for it. And she will get a free. Foul by Rachel Berth. And Hanley will come over to take this. Now, this is interesting. She's had a few from this angle. She's got a great dig on her. But once it's come off the bar, they get a goal, and another kick from play landed in the goalkeeper's arms. I'd say this is going to be in and around the house as well. She definitely fancies it, has a great kick and connects well, but it's not going to go over, but it's still dangerous. Lamb-Fagan deals with it really well. Halligan is going to pick it up for Louth. Well, they've had a dismal couple of weeks, Louth, but today they need to stay alive, and they're showing a lot of heart out there as well as quality. This is desperation time. You need to provide it on this day. This is Kate Flood. Goal after 25 seconds. We haven't seen much of her since, but now she gives it into Niamh Rice. Niamh Rice, the provider. And she is fouled, and that will give Louth a little bit of respite. And I think they'll be happy enough coming up to half-time, 7 minutes to the break, because they're still well in this game. But Roscommon could have put 3 or 4 goals away. They've avoided that, and they have stayed very much in this game, even though they've only scored 1 point. So just to repeat, earlier on this very pitch, there was a win for Offaly over Longford. So Offaly will remain in the Intermediate Championship for 2024, and Longford have gone down to junior. And in this game, one of these is going to stay up and one of them is going to go down. Sligo were beating Kilkenny in the other game on at the minute. And tomorrow we will be in Belfast for Antrim against Monaghan in the Intermediate Championship quarter-finals. Really, really looking forward to that one. Now, I presume that's Lauren Boyle over there. I think it is on her left foot. And she swung that one perfectly over the bar. Their first score from a free in this game. Lauren from Cooley Kickham's. And the whole team struggled to find their range the last day, but they've been much more economical this time, Louth, with their chances. And they have levelled it again, even though they haven't really had many attacks. They have made the most of them when they have got near goal.
Back, watch the kick. Weaver, that's it. Go outside. Hand on, touch tight. Good stuff, Weaver boy. That's great play.
Roscommon to build again. It does seem that they've done most of the building from left to right without as much end result. But they've players over, but that was over carrying. She just got caught, I think, in two minds there. Now this is where Louth are good. On the counter, Niamh Rice. She looks every time for Kate Flood or for Lauren Boyle. She knows she's forwards in there who are so dangerous. Boyle with the head up, gives it back to Rice. No, she doesn't. On that left foot. Oh, and that's beautifully stolen away there by Circe Wynne, just when she had taken a little bit of a pause, a little bit too much out of it, and Wynne stuck to her task and turned it over. Gavin gives it to Craig. That's Roscommon as the sun comes out very strongly once again, but that's going to be a free for Louth. She ran into Anya Breen. Duffy taken over by Russell for Louth. I'm looking at the movement ahead. Kate Flood is more or less on the edge of the square, way up there on her own, but it's tricky to get a ball that accurate unless you're someone like Niamh Rice. How can she get it away? She really is a live wire there. She's gone round two, she's gone round three. Brilliant play by Rice. They cannot stop her. She goes for her own score, and it's going to drop over the bar. Well, that's inspiration if ever you needed it. What a player from Cooley Kickham's Niamh Rice, and she edges her team into the lead coming up to half time, and that was the mark of a player and the team here saying we do not want to be relegated. The determination to get through two or three tackles when it actually looked like she might have lost the ball, and of course she was overturned in possession a minute ago, but she responded there in kind. 26 minutes 40 on our clock.
4 minutes. 4 minutes. Let's go.
Just a wee mention while we have a break here, by the way, for the Roscommon backroom team. You have Elizabeth Hanley in there. She's the FLO. And Ollie Lennon has Shane McDermott in with him, and Tom Lennon and Brian Lennon as well. And they're all on this side. We don't usually come to this side when we come to Carlstown Kinnegad, but it's nice to be doing something a little bit different over the far side here, giving a different view of the proceedings. And the stand over on the far side from us, we're usually up there. Roscommon building again from left to right, and that's Fleming. Tackled ferociously there by two players, and the referee not only gives a free, he's going to tick as well. That was Kiva Boyle and Anya Breen who put in the tackle, and Fleming has been in the wars, and she's a player that has had her fair share of injuries down the years. Very strong player, very courageous player, very brave, and she is the heart and soul of this Roscommon team, and that's why she is the captain from the St. Kieran's club. Referee Kevin Phelan just calming things down. A few minutes to half time. It's the first half that's been played at a serious pace. She gives it short, very short, but is going to get it back from Thompson, and does. And again, look, she runs straight through. No fear. Brave player. And now it's Hanley. I thought she might take her own score, but instead she's given it to McDermott. And that was Wynne trying to get there, but it was the other number 12, Aoife Russell, who has it for Louth. And now Shota Matthews, right half back, coming forward and fouled by Hanley. 2-3 plays 1-5, 9-8. Louth leading by a point. It's beautifully balanced, this game. You just have no idea what way it's going to go. Both teams really capable of winning this game. It's a great crossfield ball, and beautifully taken as well by Fleming. She She might try for her own score. No, she's going to work it. That's probably sensible. It was quite a distance out. She gives it to Thompson. Thompson trying to work it through, but Louth are set up really well in there. Roisin Wynn trying to get past Breen and does get past her. There's a goal chance here, and surely it is, and it is. It's Fleming again, but she is so brave. She is the heart and soul of this team. She scored one goal already. She got a knock a minute ago and was down, and she has gone through courageously to get that score, and it could be an important score. It puts them in the lead just coming up to half time by 2 points, and it could be a serious way to getting them staying in intermediate championship. Sorry, I'm getting mixed up in their status because they had to fight for their status earlier on in the league, and they were relegated to Division 3, Roscommon. So they don't want to go down here as well in the championship. Fleming with 2 goals in the first half. This is Niamh Rice. Off she goes again. She's electric, isn't she? She goes one way, then the other. She is so good. She slices through. Look at the speed. Look at the courage by her. Gives it off to Kate Flood. And now it's Louth's chance to try and respond. That's a really, really tricky one for the defence, but brilliantly taken in there. Was it Craig in there? I'm not quite sure, but it was one of the Roscommon defenders who's getting a pat on the back from her goalkeeper. And it looked like Louth were going to respond with another brilliant score at the other end. More direct play from them, and Rice definitely is a spark for everything up there. But it was really well defended, and Roscommon have survived, and we'll hope to keep this 2-point lead going into the break. A bit of magic water, and actually it was Saoirse Wynn in there who made that catch. Credit to the number 4. Gavin, wearing 14, but playing very deep for her team. Winning a lot of ball around the middle. There's a nice kick pass into Roisin Wynn. Hanley going for it, but it spills, so Roisin Wynn takes it on. Roscommon looking for another score. This is Aisling Feely. It's Feely again. It's Hanley with the dummy and the turn. Looking to get on that left foot, but well followed. Halligan winning it in the middle for Louth, and their turn to go for it now. This is a really exciting game. It's such end-to-end football, and as each team thinks that they can get a score when they go forward, when they win it in defence. There's a direct ball this time. Oh, brilliantly taken as well. What a catch in there. And of course, it's Collins. She gets free, she gets advantage, she takes advantage and puts it over the bar. Or has the referee brought it back? I think he may have already blown his whistle. And he has brought it back, so it will remain 2-5 to 2-3 in the 33rd minute of the first half, and it is indeed a free for Louth. Breathtaking first half, very enjoyable. I hope you're enjoying the entertainment on the live stream. Laura Collins from Newtown Blues looking to reduce the gap to 1 at the break. Named on the 2023 Lidl Team of the League. Now looking to keep her team in the intermediate championship ranks, and that looks good. And it is good. Can't believe these two teams are in a relegation playoff the way they're playing today. So very close to half time. Kevin Phelan looks at his watch. That is going to let play continue. Is he? No, actually, I was wondering where he was going. He's gone all the way up the field because there's an injury way back here to a Louth player in the full-back area. So she's getting a bit of treatment. And that will delay the half-time. Sun shining overhead. Is actually very warm as well. It's a hot day here in Kinnegad in mid-July. Is it mid-July? Nearly mid-July. Early to mid. Championship season, definitely. Players taking in water all over the pitch. And the Louth defender seems to be okay. On her feet anyway. So 4 goals and 9 points in total in this first half. Really entertaining, and there's nothing really between them, so we're expecting more in the second half. can maybe hear the wind in the microphone. It's picking up strongly, going from left to right, so I'd say it's been in favour of Roscommon for most of the first half. Which just adds to the intrigue of this game to see, or to try and work out what way it's going to go. It's just so hard to tell. It was Kiva Boyle, by the way, from Staban and Parnells, who required a bit of treatment there, but she's okay, and off we go again. That means we're now in the 35th minute and just about to enter the 36th minute of the first half. And we still play on. Roscommon just 1 point up. Love the format of this because it means you get such meaningful games for all teams, even though it's a relegation playoff. It keeps the season going, and you feel as if the game is a really important championship game in the later stages. It's really important for other reasons, and that was a challenge by Kate Flood that put the Roscommon player over the sideline, and Kevin Phelan is now coming over. He has awarded a free from where the ball landed, and he's now coming over. He's got his book out as well, and he's coming to check on the player who looks quite badly injured here actually from that challenge. I think it was one of those ones she got caught just as she was kicking it, and that one can be tricky. And the referee is definitely going to put a name on his book. So I think he's trying to find out who it was. So he's talking to his lines person and says, yep, Kate Flood, number 14. Player down is Aoife Gavin from Roscommon, from the St Dominic's Club. And Phelan having a word about that challenge and saying, you know, you can't do that. That's a dangerous one when a player is about to kick. And I wonder, is he just ticking here, or is this a yellow card? Because this would be a huge blow, and it is a yellow card. And that's unlucky for Kate Flood, but she did catch the girl just as she was kicking it. And that means that Louth are going to be without their key full forward for the first, at least I'd say 9 minutes of the second half. So that's a huge blow to Louth. She's the girl who got the goal after 25 seconds. And on a day like this, they do not need that. Gavin is hurt, but looks to be okay to continue and maybe run it off. And of course, we're very close to half time. Laura Fleming, meanwhile, is waiting to take it. Now, she's not going to try and score from there. And she'll give it back to Gavin, who indeed is absolutely fine now to continue. Carrying that knock, but going to run it off, and she's fine. Fleming again, looking to get a little bit of room. There is no room. Louth defending desperately. Feely gives it back out to Fleming, to Craig, to McDermott. And there is a half-time whistle. Well, you had absolutely everything in that first half. You had goals, great points as well. You, of course, had a yellow card right at the end. Lots of drama. It's been a thrilling and exhilarating first half of football. 2-5 to 2-4 for Roscommon at half-time. Been played in bright sunshine and heat here in Carlstown, Kinnegad. Can't wait for the second half. We'll be back in about 7 or 8 minutes with that second half to see who wins this battle to avoid the drop.
That can happen in just 1 second. Winning goal, winning save, perfect tackle, clever flick, good call from the ref, great shout from the line. The county title, after 30 years, a long wait over, in just 1 second. It's a game of seconds. Glorious seconds. Genius in split seconds. They're great players. Just 1 second. The difference between a good decision and a bad one. A lost temper, frustrated shout, that gut reaction. We've all done it. And we're never proud. But we can do better. We all can. Sideline, dressing room, meeting room, all places of passion where split-second decisions are made. Good ones, bad ones, some days not so calm ones. It's instinct, we know, because we love it. We just don't think. But we have to. Of others, of our players, of our game. Think before we act.
Take a second, catch your breath. Collect yourself, don't regret. Take a second to make the right call for ladies Gaelic football.
Our cameras are fixed on where the players run out because we are waiting for Louth to reappear for the second half. Roscommon are already out in the field and the officials are waiting, but the fact that Louth are not out maybe says something. They are a point down. They've lost their taliswoman full forward Kate Flood to a yellow card just before the break, so they're going to be without her for 10 minutes. It's going to be a tough 10 minutes, and Roscommon will be looking to get away from them in that period. So this is a crucial 10 minutes coming up. They get a rousing reception from their supporters for the start of this second half. It's Roscommon 2-5, Louth 2-4 in the TG4 2023 All-Ireland Intermediate Football Championship relegation playoff here in Carlstown, Kinnegad. That's the scene. A lot of sunshine. Cloud is in and out, so I can see it moving across the field, and part of it is in sunshine, part of it is in shade. Kevin Phelan gets us underway then for this crucial 30 minutes or so of football. It's Louth with 14 players. They've lost Kate Flood, who got a goal for them after 25 seconds of the first half. This is Niamh Rice, their dynamic playmaker, being followed by 2 or 3 players. And I don't know if that was a goal or not, or a goal effort or not, or a point effort, but it nearly turned out into a brilliant pass. But it wasn't quite picked up by Lucy White, who got their second goal in the first half. So Roscommon will want to settle this down a little bit, or will they want to go completely at them all the way through for the throat and really try and punish them in these 10 minutes or so? Anya Breen has taken a knock there for Louth, but she's back on her feet and getting back to help the defence. The sun has gone in behind a big black cloud, I'm sorry to say. Judy McDermott now from Strokestown for Roscommon, for Roisin Wynn. This is brilliant football. And they have Hanley over here as well. They might go for the jugular themselves, and instead the shot goes wide. No, one umpire went to go wide. The other umpire said it was over the bar. The referee is writing in his book, so that's a point. One of those ones where the umpire nearest the post where it went over had to look up, and it was gone over very quickly, so it would be very hard for him to tell. But anyway, brilliant catch around the middle by the captain, Anya Breen. She wants to lead her team into the second half of this game in a way that they're going to have to be very determined with only 14 players. They're going to have to give absolutely everything, and she wants to lead by example. They have half an hour to retain their intermediate status. They came up from junior in 2019 when they won the junior championship in Croke Park. They are in danger now of going back down, and yet they are capable. They're the only team to beat Kildare this year. They beat them in the league, but then have lost to them twice since. But they have ability, and this girl has loads of ability, and she's been taking on Roscommon almost on her own at times and digs that one just to the right and wide. And she doesn't have Kate Flood to aim at in the first 10 minutes of this second half, so she's tried to get her own score twice and it hasn't worked out. The Louth manager, Kit Henry, behind the goals, just making his way round for the second half, and the referee just making sure he does that before we continue with the play. Helena Cummings from the Michael Glavies club drives it up the middle, gets real superb length on that as well, and all the way through to Fleming. This is danger for Louth because Fleming is going through the middle and she's players over. She's got Roisin Wynn over as well. They've 14 players against 15. They've one extra player at the minute. Will they make it count? This is Hanley. She's looking to score. Will she get her point? She's put it very high, but she's put it wide, and that's a wasted opportunity for Roscommon. Good defensive work by Louth to recover there. After that kick out kind of caught them out. It just carried all the way over. Kit Henry coming down the sideline in front of me in very anxious looking mood. Short kick out finds Ailish Hand. Serious pressure being applied by McDermott. Louth forced to go back. Of course they have a player down, so they're having to work that little bit harder as they get it to Mia Duffy, and the referee says that's a free, or maybe he's just given advantage, but either way it's Lucy White continuing for Louth. Roscommon now have a sweeper in there. Their extra player number 4, Saoirse Wynn, is sitting in on the edge of the 21, if there is an age of the 21, on the 21, around the penalty spot area. Halligan now for Louth. These are tense times. Aoife Russell is calling for it, but she's too far over on this side. She goes the shorter option to Matthews. Now she gives it to Russell. Russell really wants it. She wants to get her team going here. Gives it to Lauren Boyle. She's got a great left foot. She's trying to shape onto that side, and she might just have swung over the point, and she has, using the wind, and she brings it back to a 1-point game, and that is where the conditions are now favouring Louth. She's able to score quite easily from distance there. She has an excellent left foot, and the wind helped as well. Now, 2 changes for Roscommon, and it's Aoife Gavin coming off. She's put in a great effort today for her team, and also Judy McDermott. They put in a lot of work around the middle. They get through a lot of work, but they've gone off. Now, number 9, Niamh Fitzgerald, is on for Roscommon from St Dominic's. And the other one I haven't quite picked up yet, but I will in a minute. But let's get back with the play, because you cannot take your eyes off this game. But Roscommon feeling they needed to make a few changes. Now there's the players gone down. Keeper comes all the way out for it. Cummings and does well. Referee saw nothing wrong. Rice was claiming she was impeded. And Rice certainly has at least 1 or 2 players on her every time the ball comes to her, because she is the main threat going forward now for Louth. Oh, and there's a foul, surely. And indeed, Lucy White sent number 17 for Roscommon, Ella Thompson, crashing to the ground. This is Fitzgerald. Gives it out to Ruth Cox. Wearing 25, but she's been on from the start. So Roscommon just trying to calm it down a bit, but they can't really afford to do that. They have to keep going for it. There's only a point in it. Hanley, and they have an extra player at the minute, so they need to make that count, and she might make it count here. No, she can't. Brilliant save by Rebecca Lamb-Fagan, one of the best shot stoppers in the country. That one comes off the bar. Louth living on their nerves, holding on. It's Hanley again, and eventually they do get a point out of it. Persistence pays for Roscommon. 2 points up, 2-7 to 2-5. It really is a thrilling game. I'm enjoying this as much as I would enjoy a final. This is a relegation playoff, so it is a final in a way. Hanley, eventually, this does go over from her. 36.5 minutes, but Louth keen to get the play moving, and they have done that. They've got it to Lucy White, and it's Roscommon trying to filter back. They have an extra player back, but can they stop a score at this end? Louth trying to get through, and again, they get a free and they take it quickly and give it through to Lauren Boyle, and she is through. There's a goal chance here, surely for Louth. Oh, she's blasted it over the bar, and it's Mia Duffy, and surely a goal was on there, and I guess it was a panic situation and she just lashed at it, whereas a little bit of composure, she could have run it into the net, walked it into the net, maybe passed it as well, but Helena Cummins came off her line really well and forced the ball over the bar rather than under. But that was a golden chance, and it shows that Louth have that threat still going forward. Kick out had great length on it, but it was beautifully read by the captain, Anya Breen, and Louth are gaining a bit of momentum here, and it's the captain trying to level it, and she just misjudged that. She fancied it, she took the right option, but just didn't quite connect. 2-7 plays 2-5. Or was it not 2-6? Did that last shot not go over the bar? I thought it did. We have it as 2-6, whereas the scoreboard on the ground says 2-5. Maybe I missed something there. We'll try and check that for you, but it definitely hasn't changed in the ground. On the ground scoreboard, it remains 2-7 to 2-5. I wondered at that last one. She didn't lash it wide, did she? I thought it was over the bar. I presumed it was from close range. Maybe it was wide. So I'll try and clarify that for you. Meanwhile, on with the game. This is Matthews for Louth. They are doing their best here against the 15 players. They are driving relentlessly forward. They need to keep their team in it and keep the clock ticking over and keep it alive until Kate Flood comes back into the play. Yeah, the scoreboard and the ground is still saying 2-7 to 2-5, so I think we'll have to go with that. And this is a free from serious distance, but with the wind behind her, and she got it. Oh, she's judged it beautifully. 2-7 plays 2-6, and Flood now runs down anxiously in front of me to say, let me on. It's been 8.5 minutes of the second half, and she went off with about a minute or maybe less of the first half to go. So she's poised to come back on. She can't wait to get back on. Meantime, Roscommon have the attack and they still have that extra player for maybe one more attack. It's Ruth Cox. She gives it into Fleming. 2 goals in the first half and she's fouled and she will take that free. And now the referee maybe will let Kate Flood back on. She's ready, but he has not given the signal. So after 9 minutes of the second half, it remains 2-7, 2-6. Yeah, it has gone 2-7, 2-6 in the ground here as well. So that's been added after a 1 point game, but maybe a 2 point game now. Fleming should get this and does. 2 point game. So a 10-minute penalty. It's been 9.5 minutes exactly. Referee checking both watches and now seems to be making the signal to say that you can come back on again, I think. Or is he? No, he doesn't see. He certainly looked over, but it's certainly been 9.5 minutes and she couldn't have been off any less than about 30 seconds of the first half. I would have thought that was the penalty, but we continue without Kate Flood. And Roscommon looking to get in again. Fleming, she scored 2, might want to get a third, which of course she wants to get, but doesn't quite get it. She does put it over though, and this is a time when Louth really need Flood to come flooding back onto the pitch, excuse the pun, and they do need her, and she is back on. This game just perfectly poised, 2-9 to 2-6. Roscommon just opening up a lead of 3 points. Louth need to get Flood on the ball. They need to get back to 15. They've managed that much. Ball booted up the middle and it might go all the way to Flood. Duffy gets an important touch and gives it to Flood. She's just come back onto the field after being in the sin bin. She has not had any other touches, but here, that's an excellent one she's given. And Collins, oh my goodness, she's put it across the goals and wide. Oh my goodness, the Louth people in front of me on my right here, they look round as if to say, oh my goodness, how did that not go in? That was a moment to level the game. Roscommon now go again. Brilliant interception by Breen for her team. Players are just diving on everything. Every little inch matters. There's a big black cloud coming over ominously here at Carlstown Kinnegad. The players, 11 minutes into the second half, have kept up a seriously high tempo in this game. This is Ella Thompson with a shot way out on the right. Is that going to drop over the bar? Oh, it's just gone to the left. Remains a 3-point game. You know, Louth might regret that one at the other end. They'll hope they don't, but they are telling Kate Flood to stay in full forward. So she has now gone in there. She was a provider for that chance, but they want her on the end of it. Kick out from Lam Fagan is a good one, looking for Halligan. Good movement from Halligan, and she picks it up. She was very well found. And this is Aoife Russell, and there's room here. Roscommon have dropped off. They've dropped back. They are so wary of the goal threat of Louth. But Louth at this stage might be happy to take their points. Well, she missed a goal a minute ago, and now she's just missed a point as well. This is agonising for Louth, who are looking to bring on a substitute now. And it will be Abby Keenan, one of the best young players in the county. I'm looking anxiously myself at the dark clouds overhead and hoping that it doesn't start to rain here. We have 18 minutes or so. Roscommon on the attack again. 3 points to the good. Fleming takes it brilliantly and bravely as usual. Trying to get in behind Hanley on that left foot and just swings it over, and that should be over the bar, and it is. Super young player, and you just knew at that angle that suited her perfectly, and she made no mistake, and it's now a 4-point game, and I think that's maybe the biggest gap there's been between these teams. And if only from a Louth point of view they got that goal a couple of minutes ago, we'd have been talking a very different game, but they have it all to do. They've replaced Mia Duffy, who lashed one over the bar just before that. So they've had 2 great goal chances in the second half and haven't taken them. That ball is dropped kindly. Well read by Thompson to Cox. 17 and 25, but they've been in from the start and they've both played superbly for their county today. Feely now. Roscommon keeping it up the right end, but that's an interception by Rachel Berth. She does brilliantly to get it back for Louth. Now can they build? I'm looking at Roscommon's setup. They've 1 player back extra inside their own 45 and they've another around the middle, so they're very wary. They're trying to hold on to what they have, and usually Louth do well when they transition the ball quickly, but it's been turned over. And it's Roscommon who will come strongly again, looking for yet another score. And it's Aisling Shanaher as they look to increase their lead. Hanley now getting a little bit of room up there. Fleming, of course, in the middle of it as usual, and she gets a free. If you need to contact me directly or feel the need for any reason, you can message me directly on Twitter at Jerome Quinn or on Instagram at Jerome Quinn1. And I do have one message, and very interesting one as well, from Ellen Hines here. She's the acting Roscommon PRO. She's not at the game. She's not here. And she's not in Roscommon either. She's in Italy watching the game. Hi, Ellen. I'm sure you're biting your nails out there, but maybe have a glass of red wine or something as well there, and I hope you're enjoying the stream. Thank you for the message and letting us know where you are. We also have, of course, Jenny Higgins watching in Sydney, Australia, early in the morning. It must be about 2:30 in the morning or so out there. These are tense times, but Roscommon, we think, have been an intermediate since 2001, and at the minute they're going to stay there, but Louth are very dangerous still. 4 points in it. Halligan looking to get the ball into the full forward area where Flood is there. Now there's a ball. It's 3 against 4, and it's Roscommon who prevail. Tough one for Lauren Boyle to pick up, and instead it's Saoirse Wynn. And Saoirse comes away with the ball for Roscommon, and they do seem to be on top at the minute, don't they? Little period here, and Roscommon seem to be the better team overall, but Louth are so capable of getting up the other end and just putting the ball in the back of the net. They've had 2 goal chances in the second half. First half they took 2. So if they get a goal, it changes the complexion of the game. And it's Rice. Look at the speed, look at the determination. What a player she is, and she's going straight through the middle. She's looking for help, and she gets help from the substitute. It's Abby Keenan. She's closing in and goal. Cummings in the right place at the right time. Good clearance as well. That's 3 goal chances now that Louth have had. But the Roscommon defence holding out in this second half. And if they can keep chipping away scores in the last 14 minutes of the game, they will retain their status. And they mightn't just chip away, they might get a goal here. This is a great chance for them. Surely, this has got to go in that goal, and it's saved by Rebecca Lamb-Fagan. From this angle, it looked like she had only got a despairing hand to it, and it was going to go in, but she managed to save it, and she is, as I said earlier, an excellent shot stopper. Louth looking to come out with the ball, but the referee holding the game up for an injury there, which must have happened before that goal chance. Louth now sending in a substitute as well. And Shoda Matthews, I think, is coming off. What a effort she put in for her team today. She never stopped. Holly Lamb-Sally, number 7, is coming in. And she is from the Geraldines Club. Sun coming out again here in Carlstown Kinnegad in Westmeath to greet the last 13 minutes. We've had serious drama so far. I do feel we're going to have another chapter or 2 as well. It's coming down to the wire. One of these teams will make the drop. At the minute, it's Louth.
Keep a roll in and out. Keep moving. Go, girls. We have to get possession.
Don't see any changes being lined up for Roscommon. They made 2 early in the half, of course. Just as I say that, I see number 24 warming up for them, and that would be Orla Connolly. 2-10 plays 2-6. 4 points in it. Louth may need to make another change here. This doesn't look good. Didn't see what happened. But while she was injured, her team nearly conceded a goal. They've survived. But she is going off, so we're going to have a Louth sub here, and they're trying to sort out now who might come on. They don't look like they anticipated this going to this stage. 17 is Katie Doheny, and indeed she is now being sent into the play without any warm-up, or maybe she's been warming up. So Doheny from St. Kevin's is going into the play. And she is being followed right away by Aisling Feely. So that's the pairing there. Off we go again then. 11 minutes to go, but there will be a good amount of injury time. Roscommon winning most of the exchanges at the minute. It's a frustrating time for Louth, but Roscommon not really making it pay that much. Now the referee gave advantage there. He's brought it back. It's going to be a free for Roscommon. They are on top. Louth certainly not bombarding Roscommon, but they are dangerous on the break. At the minute, it's Roscommon on top, and it's in their hands. But in nips the sub, who's just come on and looked like she'd got the ball. In fact, she's won a free for her team. It's good work by Katie Doheny. She's made an impact right away. So about 10 minutes of normal time. Oh, they nearly give it away there. That was nearly intercepted by Feely. It's Roscommon pressing. Louth trying to get up the field. Now, little bit of room here for them to move into. Will they go long? Will they go short? They usually work well when they go short and give it to Niamh Rice, and then she pulls the strings. Halligan, they're trying to work it over that way, I think. This is Rice now. She's got support there from Boyle, but she decides to go herself. And she's trying to barge her way through and use great skill as well, but she just doesn't connect. She's trying to do it all herself and just didn't get through. And even worse, she seems to have taken a knock there. Holly, or rather Niamh Feeney, number 7 for Roscommon now, clears her lines and gets it up the field. And I'm watching Rice off camera here, and she's down on her honkers. That is not good news for Louth. Not much has gone for them today. They've lost a player to injury. They lost Flood to a yellow, and now Niamh Rice seems to have picked up a knock. They are really going to have to dig this one out against the odds and against everything else. This is Boyle. Wants to get on that left foot, gets on it, but runs into traffic, gets a free though. And this could be important. This could bring it back to a 3-point game. It's a good angle for Boyle herself. Substitution for Roscommon. Looks like 15 is going off. That's Feely. Didn't see who went on, but I'll pick it up for you as we go. There's a player on the side there as that one goes over the bar. Looks like number 10 for Roscommon, Millie Hagan, has been lined up. That maybe be another substitution. That'll be a second sub. Yeah, Millie Hagan from St Barry's is going to come on for Roscommon, but they already have one sub on. I don't know who it is, but let's get back to the play because Halligan has got it. She gets fouled, but they play on. No, they'll take the free. She got tripped there. It sort of holds the thing up a little bit. And then now there's a substitution, and it is Hagan come on that holds it up a little bit more. 3-point game. Louth would prefer just to get the game going, but they can't. It's a bit stop-start at the minute. So we're into the last 8 minutes. Erin Hagan for Roscommon has come off. She's also St Barry's. Aoife Russell works it to Holly Lamb-Sally. Roscommon have their defensive strategy set up in there. There's no way through, or is there? Abby Keenan trying to find a way through. Lovely little show and a dummy. And she gives it to Lauren Boyle, and she puts it extremely high, but it's not accurate, and that's happened a few times now. There's a push. That's interesting. What is the referee giving? A free? Oh, he's going to bring it back out for a free for a second. I thought that might have been a penalty. He's given a free in. So one of the Louth players went to ground. Let's watch it again. The kick was rather aimless, and you saw a player going to ground there. And that's happened a couple of times. That's the first time there's been a penalty. I'm not saying it was a penalty. It needed to be a penalty on it earlier on, but we have seen a few players going down off the ball, and that's the first time that the referee has said, yeah, that's a free in. So that will bring it back to a 2-point game. There is still hope for Louth. And there is more tension and nervous times for Roscommon as we go into the last 6.5 minutes with added time. Ellen Irwin gets it short from the kick out, gives it to Saoirse Wynne. She's halted by Halligan, but fouled. It's gone cool, believe it or not, for the first real time today, and very big, dark, ominous clouds overhead. Good work by Niamh Feeney for Roscommon, eating up ground and just bringing the ball forward, and she's not going to waste it either. Although she needs to move it quicker, she's going to be turned over. Nope, she did well. Roscommon keep possession. Nail-biting times for the Rossies. 5.5 minutes of normal time. They're carrying the game to Louth. This is one of their subs, Lauren Shanaher, number 22, who's come into the play. And this is Fitzmaurice. They're just keeping possession. Louth can't afford to just sit in. They're coming out, but Roscommon are just teasing them now. Feeney, they're moving the ball from side to side, stretching Louth. Louth forward, starved of possession. Fleming, the captain, steadies the ship. No need to just lash the ball in, taking her time. Now she has a go, she fancies it, but it's gone to the left, I fancy, and it has. 2-point game in the last 5 minutes now. As the song goes, it's tense and nervous, and they can't relax. Short kick out. Halligan makes a brilliant run. That is very important at this stage, just to get possession for Louth. They need to get the ball in their hands. They need to get up the other end of the field, and that's good play. Will she get there? She does get there. That's great determination. Held up by Fitzgerald, but it's a foul. She's looking for movement ahead of her Eilish hand. The referee says play on. The manager beside us from Louth says get in. He wants players in on the edge of the square. What a goal would do now to upset everything. Han just puts it in there. She lobs it in there, but in there is number 21, Aisling Shanaher for Roscommon. That was a little bit too easy after all the work to get the ball. It was a little bit aimless, and there was 2 Roscommon players in that particular area, and they come away with it again. It's Fitzmaurice. The odds are on Roscommon holding on here and maybe even stretching their lead. Will they do that? It's Fleming, the captain. She scored 2 goals. She's looking to get another score or set one up. Or even just eat down the clock at this point, because it's 3.5 minutes of normal time. Hanley. Craig. Ruth Cox gives it out to the right-hand side to Feeney, who's been one of the players of the match, but that is a poor kick. And it gives possession back to Louth. 3 minutes of normal time to go. The Louth manager is just pointing all the time. Up there, let's get it up there. The kick goes up the middle from Rebecca Lamb-Fagan. Who's going to win this? Who's going to win this important break? Louth get it. And it's Anya Breen, their captain, who has it. She's got help here from Aoife Russell. Louth on the attack then. 2 points down. And they've got room in behind, and it's a sub. It is number 22, Abby Keenan. She's been faced up. What can she do? She needs to come back. She needs support, but there isn't any support. There are no red jerseys anywhere near her. She's having to keep possession, and eventually is overturned. And it's Roscommon who will come away with it. Good work by Fitzgerald. Now it's Millie Hagan, the sub, and she's been fouled by Rice, who has hurt herself. She was injured 5 minutes ago, and she's hurt herself again. And those are not good signs for Louth as we go into the last 2 minutes of normal time. Roscommon have the possession. And it's vital possession at this stage. Ruth Cox wearing 25, but she's been on since the very start of the game, and she has contributed hugely to this performance by Roscommon. But will it be enough to keep them up? It's Hanley now. It's Fleming, the captain, looking for a bit of room. She's been hounded out of it though. Has she been fouled? I think she has. You know, the referee is indicating, and that's going to be a free in. And the captain has won a free at a vital point of this game. 2 points up, this surely to make it 3. And it's Fleming who will take it herself when she recovers. The clock ticking down agonisingly for Louth. Roscommon will be happy to take this insurance point to make it 3 in it. We're in the last minute of normal time. Fleming will kick it dead one way or the other. Has she got that inside the post? She has. And it goes to 2-11 to 2-8. Now, Louth, no point going for points. They haven't scored a goal since the first half. They've had 3 chances in the second half. Can they get one now? Lucy White, that's a fantastic ball. 2 great kick passes from the goalkeeper, and then from White. Louth, 3 points down. Desperately need a goal. Well, that looks like she's going for a point. Are they going to keep that in? It might go nowhere. Well, she's actually kept it in. I think, the umpire has said it's out of play. And that's such frustration for Louth. They just cannot get it together up there. And it's playing right into Roscommon's hands. We are now in added time. I imagine we're looking at about 3 minutes, maybe 4. Helena Cummins gets good height and distance on that. This is so important, and it's Louth's ball. Aoife Russell is quickest to react. Gives it to Anya Breen, the captain of Louth. Emer Murray, and she desperately drives it into the forward line, looking for it to break kindly. It doesn't break. Instead, Rachel Fitzmaurice is there, and it's the Rossies coming away with it. It's Niamh Feeney, as she's done so often, and it's Fleming who has done so well, and she gives and goes. Well, they've been the 2 best players on the pitch. And here she goes again, Fleming, and is she fouled again? No, she's blown for overcarrying this time, and she is shocked, but Louth are delighted to get the ball back. 61 minutes. Oh, hold on, the referee's changed his mind. He's now given it as a free in. He said overcarrying, and now he said free in. Well, drama in added time at the end of this game. Desperate times for Louth. Roscommon holding on to their lead desperately. If Fleming can put this over, they would surely be home and dry if she makes it a 4-point game. They're eating up time as it is. This is not in open play. It's not suiting Louth. Takes a step or 2 forward and gives a really good dig on it. And the captain has put it over, and she roars. And she shakes her fists and says, come on, let's hold this. We're 4 points up. Don't lose it now. And are Roscommon going to stay in intermediate? They've been there since 2001. They don't want to lose it, and they've played with such determination today. But Louth, do they have a sting in the tail? They scored a goal after 25 seconds of the game. Can they get a goal right at the end? They now need a goal and a point just to level it. Oh, that pass has gone wayward, but White might save the day. She has rescued it for them. Halligan gives it back to Kate Flood. Kate is capable of goals. We know that from early in the game, but she's way out the field. She's trying to get through on her own and is bottled up and is fouled. And I wonder, will she leave it there? She does leave it there and gives it to Laura Collins. And she might be saying to her, take your point, or she might be saying, put it in high and I'll try and fist it into the net. Either way, we're in the 63rd minute and Louth trail by 4. They need at least a point here. They cannot afford to miss from this. 40 metres out. Louth hanging on to intermediate status by a thread. That's not going to go over. It's going to hit the bar and then desperately kicked clear by Rachel Fitzmaurice. And the referee says it's a free, and it's going to be a free out as well. Well, all the goal action was in the first half, but in the second half we have seen the Louth forwards hit the bar, I think on at least one occasion, and they've come close on a couple of other occasions, but it just hasn't happened, and I don't think it is now. Cummings goes long, and there it is, the final whistle in Roscommon. They have been an intermediate since 2001, and they're going to be there again in 2024. And it's desperate times, it's sad times for Louth, because they go down to junior for 2024. They put up a heroic effort today to try and save the day, and they so nearly did, but it just didn't happen for them. They scored a goal after 25 seconds, and they played with great heart throughout, despite what it seemed everything going against them, yellow cards and shots going astray and whatever. It just didn't seem to happen for them, and injuries as well to Shannon McLaughlin, of course, before today. It's been a really tough time for them, but it's Roscommon who have prevailed, and they have won this important match to stay up in intermediate for 2024. They have won this relegation playoff. It's been an absolutely thrilling game of football. 4 goals in the first half. The second half was much more tense. Louth having to go for goals, but didn't just quite manage to get them. So in the end, it has finished with victory for Roscommon. 2-12 to 2-8. Relief, I think, more than anything is the case for them. So no mad celebrations. They're just happy to have stayed up. Some of their supporters coming on the field as well, and I'm looking to see where the players have gone. No mad streaming onto the pitch. It wasn't a final as such, but it is important for Roscommon, and they have managed to stay up, and now they're going into a huddle. I might try and go on and grab one of the players for a quick word here while we're live on the stream. In the meantime, we'll maybe play one of the adverts for you, so if you stick with us, I'm going to try and get 1 or 2 of the players for Louth to get immediate reaction from them. So you'll need to give me a minute to run on to try and grab 1 or 2 of them, and then we'll be back with you in a minute or so.
A lot can happen in just 1 second. Winning goal, winning save, perfect tackle, clever flick, good call from the ref, great shout from the line. The county title after 30 years, a long wait over, in just 1 second. It's a game of seconds. Glorious seconds. Genius in split seconds. They're great players. Just 1 second. The difference between a good decision and a bad one. A lost temper, frustrated shout, that gut reaction. We've all done it, and we're never proud. But we can do better. We all can. Sideline, dressing room, meeting room, all places of passion where split-second decisions are made. Good ones, bad ones, some days not so calm ones. It's instinct, we know, because we love it. We just don't think, but we have to. Of others.
Well, I'm delighted to say I'm with Laura Fleming now, and the word you're saying there, relief.
Yeah, definitely. Look, once that final whistle was blown, it was definitely a relief for us. Look, I suppose we found ourselves in the relegation, and that's just the way sport goes. It's up and down, but definitely a relief to remain as an intermediate team again next year.
How important is that? Because I heard before the game that Roscommon have been intermediate since 2001, so you didn't want to be the team to go down.
No, definitely not. Look, that win today was huge for Roscommon ladies. This year, look, we've had a huge transition, and I cannot speak highly enough of the amazing young girls that have come into Roscommon this year. They're 16-year-olds, 17 and 18-year-olds. And I think we've had, was it our first championship game this year? We had 8 championship debuts, so like that's over half our team. So for those young girls that have 10, 12 years left to play in with Roscommon, it is just huge to remain as an intermediate team for those girls.
And that game today required character, it required skill. I mean, they got a goal after 25 seconds. You responded right away. You were battling yourself very courageously throughout the game. It took real heart from all of the team.
Definitely took heart, but look, we knew coming down here today that there was just one thing to do, and that was to get the win. And again, I suppose seeing that goal go in after 25 seconds was, I suppose, did kind of frighten us a little bit, but again it shows the character of those young girls out there and the girls that were playing, not to let that goal after 25 seconds dampen the spirits. And in particular, I suppose we would have looked at our second half, because our second halves this year have been quite poor, so we knew where to come out in the second half. Again, we're only a point up at half time, and I think we done that.
Just finally, you mentioned more or less the transition there, the young players coming in, and that's partly because some players have moved on. We had a certain viewer in Australia this morning in Sydney, Jenny Higgins, watching, and we had another message from Italy from your acting PRO as well. So people all over the world, Rossies all over the world, delighted to see that you've retained your status today and that performance today after what's been a difficult year for you on the scoreboard.
Yeah, definitely. Look, and you know that's football, and people retire and people move on, and look, like it's those young girls that's coming in that, as I said, they've 10, 12 years ahead of them, and the experience that they've got this year playing in Division 2 under their belt will definitely, I have no doubt that the future is bright for Roscommon ladies with those young girls coming through.
Brilliant. Well, thanks very much. I'll let you get back to the celebrations here. Sure. I suppose it is celebrations, even though you haven't won anything as such. I suppose you've won your status.
Yeah, look, we've won our status, and look, I suppose we'll look back, and for me there's two huge positives from the year, and that's winning the Connacht title and bringing those 13 young girls through, and hopefully they'll come back in next year. So there is positives out there for Roscommon ladies.
Last thing, I'm going to just take you this opportunity when you're here. We're doing Antrim Monaghan tomorrow in Belfast,
Yes.
Intermediate Championship quarter final. I'd love to know your take on that, and maybe you haven't played against those particular teams this year, but what do you think?
Yeah, we were actually just talking about those on the way up, and that was the one game that I said it's going to be a really hard one to call. I think we played Monaghan in the Championship, and they definitely have the experience. You can see that they were a senior team. We haven't played Antrim, but from what I'm seeing, they're an amazing young team. I think I would have to say I'd like to see Antrim coming up from junior last year, and I think they definitely have what it takes if they can just overcome that experience that Monaghan have.
It just shows how competitive intermediate is now and how important it is for you to stay there.
Yeah, because I tell you, if you go down to junior and Louth are an amazing team there, it's not going to be easy to get back out of there. So yeah, definitely fair play to Antrim for coming through and getting to an All-Ireland quarter final in the first year.
Okay, I will let you go now.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks very much. Don't forget your gloves. That's Laura Fleming, the captain of Roscommon, ending our live stream coverage here in Callstown, Kinnegad. It has been like a final. It's been a terrific game to be live streaming. I hope you've really enjoyed the coverage from the whole team here in Westmeath. It's goodbye.